Today let's dive into a subject that often stirs a mix of confusion and contention. ADHD, short for Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. But before we dive deep into this unusual discussion, let's turn conventional wisdom on its head. I'm Danielle. This is Nazca. What if ADHD is not just a clinical term for a disorder? Instead, let's entertain the idea that it represents a unique phenotype, a distinct way our brains operate. In the comments, let me know. I know that I have ADHD, I'm autistic, and I'm blessed with epilepsy. So I'm sorry if I kind of stall out sometimes. My action seizures they've been more frequently recently. Here's a fascinating truth. Those diagnosed with ADHD may actually be carrying some evolutionary baggage from their ancestors, the real OG traits, survivors of a time when quick adaptability was essential. Think about it. These were the individuals who excelled in hunting, archery, that's my favorite, and gathering. I'm not a gatherer, I'm a hunter. Equipped with extraordinary instincts that kept them alert in an unyielding wilderness. They possessed lightning-fast reflexes. I don't have lightning-fast reflexes. There's a zombie apocalypse outbreak, I'd be the first to go. Heightened awareness of their surroundings and an uncanny flair for adjusting to their environment on the fly. In many respects, these traits resembled superpowers during an era where survival depended on staying tuned in and ready to react. I mean, imagine giant ground sloths. In the United States, we had North American, what is that thing? That cat that's really fast. A cheetah. We had North American cheetahs. I mean, what if you had a saber-tooth tiger trying to get into your family? You needed to react fast. Now, fast forward to the modern age where the landscape has changed drastically. Expectations have morphed from those demanding physical, adventures and explorations to ones requiring prolonged stillness and focus, essentially inviting individuals to memorize, I know to me, useless facts of information that often lack relevance in my daily life. This creates a daunting scenario, particularly those with ADHD, who may wrestle even more fiercely with their natural impulses. That's me. You're not alone. That's me. Yeah, that's me. Educational systems and workplaces increasingly favor a one-size-fits-all approach that clashes with the innate talents and skills of individuals with ADHD. Here lies some vital insight. The issue isn't ADHD itself. Rather, it's the constraints imposed by our environment that present the true dilemma. Conformity's rigid expectations can be strenuous for anyone. So here's a thought experiment. What if we started reframing ADHD, viewing it not as a flaw, but as a different lens through which to experience life? Such a shift in perspective could reveal a treasure trove of strengths that often go unnoticed. Boy, do I have some stories about that. Let's discuss what it means to navigate the world with this distinct neurological wiring. Howdy, y'all. I'm Danielle, your fellow ADHDer, trying to find my place in this neurotypical world. And this is Nazca keeping me company on the ride. Growing up, I always had an IEP for as long as I could remember, which stands for Individual Education Plan in the public school systems I attended here in the U.S. One specific memory, I have a whole bunch, but I'm only going to share this one right now. One specific memory I had is during 8th grade when we were picking out our foreign language we wanted when we became freshmen in high school. But I was not allowed to take a foreign language because they said I didn't speak English well enough. Boy, was that embarrassing when all my peers were able to pick out which language they wanted to learn. And I'm stuck taking an English class, even though English is my first and only language that I know. So embarrassing. After graduating college as a medical assistant, I'm going to share one of my job stories with you. which I was embarrassed about for a long time. So after graduating college, I was fired from my first MA job, and the HR manager suggested I go see my PCP and maybe be evaluated for ADHD, which, looking back, was a lifesaver. I was evaluated. I checked off every box on the list for ADHD, and I was prescribed 30 milligrams of Adderall twice a day, which at the time I didn't even know was a thing. I thought it was just normal for everyone to use every ounce of energy from the moment they woke up to the moment they went to bed just to survive. And then if you had kids, school, or work, I just didn't understand how people could mask it so well. And I was drastically failing, and everybody could see it. Many individuals with ADHD bring vibrant imagination to the table alongside innovative thought processes. However, traditional systems, heavily leaning towards linear thinking, frequently miss out on the unique creativity and unconventional insight those with ADHD can contribute. Now picture the potential transformation waiting to unfold in classrooms and workplaces that embrace these diverse strengths. What if we cultivated environments rich with stimulation and variety, space where multitasking is not just tolerated, but positively encouraged? I would love that. Does anybody work in a place like this? If you do, let me know down in the comments what you do for a living if you're ADHD and you absolutely love your job. Such settings can foster innovative ideas, inviting unconventional problem-solving techniques to take center stage. Those who perceive information differently can infuse team dynamics with a refreshing and vital perspective. And often just I don't know, a lot of people, when I come up with an idea, they're like, where'd you come up with that from? I don't know, I just pulled it out of my brain. As a society, we have a habit of labeling differences as disorders, particularly when they disrupt our neatly structured environment that I was forced to be part of. But if we take a step back, to recognize that disorder label through an evolutionary lens, we can start reshaping our narrative. Instead of seeing ADHD as a hindrance, we can appreciate it as a vibrant element of human diversity, much like the rich tapestry of cultures and languages we celebrate, even though I can only speak one language, and apparently that's all my brain is able to learn. That is what the tests say in my country. Of course, acknowledging this perspective doesn't invalidate the challenges faced by individuals struggling with ADHD in everyday life. Providing support and understanding remains crucial in this dialogue. I know my support comes from NASCA and just a few people. And a lot of people, even in my own family, still say that I'm not autistic, I'm making it up. It's just for attention, which is sad. It's essential to build systems that not only recognize the wide array of cognitive styles, but also equip individuals with the tools and strategies they need to navigate the challenges they encounter. Proper support can help those with ADHD harness their unique traits to achieve extraordinary things. We are capable of extraordinary things if we have the proper support, love, and guidance in these environments that just seem very foreign to us with ADHD. Furthermore, fostering a culture that values varying thought process often benefits for everyone involved. Envision workplaces flourishing through the integration of diverse mindsets, where collaboration and varying approaches to problem solving become second nature. Such a shift could yield not only remarkable innovations, but also a more inclusive atmosphere, ensuring everyone feels valued, regardless of their cognitive style of thinking and processing of the world around us. So to wrap things up, it's time to reevaluate our discussion surrounding ADHD by recognizing it as a phenotype brimming with adventures. We So to wrap things up, it's time to reevaluate our discussion surrounding ADHD by recognizing it as a phenotype brimming with advantages. We lay the groundwork for a more expansive understanding of intelligence and capability. The true challenge lies not within those who think differently, but within the environment we've established as a modern society. How can we refine our system to celebrate and leverage this diversity? This change in perspective not only has the power to transform individuals' lives, but also to cultivate a more inclusive and vibrant society. Let's embrace our differences, celebrate the strengths found within diversity, and strive for a world that recognizes and appreciates all kinds of brains. Ultimately, when we learn to value the unique contributions each individual brings, we can stand to gain immensely. If you like any of this, like, subscribe, join my little community here. I'm Danielle. Nauska's sleeping right here on the ground. And I really enjoyed doing this video. I really enjoyed it. I'm huge into nature, and maybe that is one of the reasons I like to be in nature versus with other people. I feel like I'm just better in nature as a human. Like I said, archery, that's my thing. I know I haven't shown you guys the mistress in a while. If anybody would be interested in like what I do out in the desert, let me know down in the comments. Danielle out.